So these are some of the sections of the high power cables which I have marked, which I would need to cut into sections to join the controls, fuse shunts, contactors, and all those sort of things. And I have saved quite a long time for this set of gigantic cutter, so I could start cutting some wires at home. Here goes. Well, the first one, of course, is marked as number 1. Here goes. Whew. That's nice. So this is the only small section that I need to, to make the connections, and the whole, even the, I think the cable lux might end up longer than this section of wire here. Well, I'm done with the first one, so I'm continuing the second one. Second one is on the angle, so we'll try get this right there. Well, it's much easier and neater in any way I could possibly do it. I think this is the best way, and gets the job done quite nicely also. This section of wire has been cut. It also would be stripped so that the cable up could go in. Now what I found to be useful is actually this piece of is supposed to be a piece of cutting blade for the PVC pipe, which I don't see how it fits. It did not get the job done quite well, so I assume that it would do this one much better as a stripper for those 600 or 1000 amperes cable. I think those are fantastic. I think that's easily done and very nicely cut, so this whole thing would sit nicely snugly inside here. And once I get the crimp on, it's going to be as good as what I do in office. So let's give it a shot on the well, in all the years of seeing and doing welding cables, well, this could be one of my, this one of the shortest length. Looks more like a fuse than of anything. Anyway, this is how the original cable lug would look like. Now this section requires a bend on the cable lug, so this could fit properly into the contactor and into the battery minus terminal. So both of these would align properly without interfering with any of the connections of the. As you can see, the connections are pretty, those clearance are like a couple of if I got the orientation of the wires wrong, well, I'm done. So anyway, I have got the I've sort of marked a circuit around it and labels the wire, so I know which is which. so I just simply name this as section 1. So section number 1 is done. I only need to get this back to the office to get it crimped, because I can't afford to get the crimper yet. I only could afford to get the cutters at the bargain price, so this is the second section that I've just cut out just now. So let's go something like this from the motor minus out all the way back to the shunt. So that's how more or less it would look like, with 2 more lugs and a joint and a bend, definitely. This is I don't know how I'm gonna make that bend, but I'll try to manage. So this cable number 2 is now fitted in, or just test fit before I take this back to the office and crimp it up. That's the shunt portion. Has a gentle curve down here where the lugs just been re-angled. So this whole thing would need proper crimping, and also some insulation done at the cable lugs collar there. So more or less this is the progress. So this is one of the section that I would have to I'll be putting put into the switch here, where this would be the connection side of the most negative of the pack. So that switch is the control that would supply the power to the front of the car, which power the motor and whatever. So I've quickly crimped this, and also protect it from dust, and also bend the cables to an angle so it could fold properly, properly down, so where I could get a nice connection. So I'll put one of this section in, and the old section, this is the most negative portion. I'll still reuse back this intention. I still have the intention to reuse back this connector, because this would go directly into the charger. These two are the charger terminals, so I could still reuse it as a charger terminal. So I'll chop this off, put this side into the switch. The switch out would be this section here. So this would make the whole connection to the most negative terminal of the pack. Just a quick update on the progress. Well, these are some of the things that have been going on based on the terminals. That means the terminals of the these two terminals here. Those two are M10s. So lugs are definitely undersized on the holes, so I have to do the enlarge the hole a little bit for both the lugs, but it still looks okay, pretty good. And when I do that, I'll just make sure if you guys are ever going to do this, there is some things that you have to watch out once you start using. You tidy up this area here. Well, you do not want this sleeve to go overshoot. What will happen is when because all the connection would be based on try to get this as good as I could on camera. What the connection would be based on would be the contact surface. That means the contact surface is the most critical of all. So it depends all on the contact surface which the current will pass through. So you have to make sure that all the contact surface that might come into contact is cleaned off, especially when if you could see the smaller ones is going to be a little bit or very much tight than the large one. So what I done is actually I have to clean up quite a big portion. That means I have used a blade to shave off this area here. That means remove the shrinking tape, so that would not leave at the back where it's not contact. I'm not worried about, so I'll leave both the sections would be contact, something like this, on the switch there. So once both are connected, so that's just why I would remove this. So remove this section of the insulation to make sure it has a good firm contact, and to reduce any chance of arcing. So this is how the wiring is done on the battery switch. Okay, so the this is the main incoming most negative power, so that would activate the outline and also a charge line. This connection goes to the charger. So in any circumstances I could isolate the pack from the output and also the charger in any time. So that would be here, so at any time I could, on a flick of a switch, I could isolate the battery pack. So the switch is all ready and mounted steadily here. So this side of it, that should be the charger connection, that would be the output terminal connection, so both cannot be and that is the wire that goes into the switch from the most negative side of the pack. So either I could isolate the whole pack without charging or output, or I could activate it simply by a switch. Well, it's been raining since yesterday evening to now, so the weather is quite cooling, but unfortunately I can't get much done on the car because it's all wet, especially on this area where I want to go and do some test out all the joints that I've made and trimmed from office. So but that area there is still all wet, and so I better not leave it, better to just leave it alone and show you guys what's been going on since last night. So as of yesterday afternoon, all the 3 wires are already in the switch. I've tested out with the meters, so all the connections are well, and also I have made the similar changes to the most positive wire. It's still, so this would be my my most positive battery terminal to the front of the car. So that would have another connector which will connect into here, and in the section here it's all joined. The section looks something like this. So it goes one in and it's connected inside here, the other one comes out here, and this would be the charging terminals for the charger. So that is a positive charger, positive negative charger, negative terminal and positive terminal. So in other way, both of them are quite some distance away. There is little chance, unless it is someone else put them and short circuit that whole thing. But if not, Under natural circumstances, there is almost a non-existence possibility of both of them coming on contact. So I'll start some work inside, maybe insulate some of the cables that I've crimped at the office. So this if I measure them correctly, this will be the whole works of connectors of wires, all these the wires which I have labeled them by numbers, so I hopefully don't get them wrong. Well, this thing it's not the best of heat source to have the shrinking process. I have to do like it has something like a 1% duty cycle, so for every less than a minute I have to rest like another 3 minutes, before I could hit. So each of them maybe take me about 10-15 minutes just to blow them in. And got fed up. I got this guy to help me out, but though the result wasn't too nicely, but at least after half a day I got all these covered up in shrinkables. But there is the concern here, which I will still want to take out the round section here, so there will not be gap when I lock them tight. So you can see the rain is still around, so I'll just give them a nice trim. Hopefully by then it's conditions permit me to work on the car again. It's 3 in the evening, so our weather has not changed a fair little bit. Not the best working conditions, but I think I'll go ahead and try out the conduit. So I've made a new gasket, a rubber gasket for the conduit. It should be full waterproof. It's quite a tough fella, which runs all the way, so that should be more than sufficient in length. And go ahead and test it into the hole that I've made earlier for it. Well, it's 3 to 4 hours since I've started, and the rain just kept on coming. It's never stopped. Drizzling. These are collections after I've used it to clean up the conduit before I lay it down. Conduit is all laid down, all the way from the back of the car to all the way to the front. So I'm just figuring out how I'm going to mount this up. Just a quick undercar cam now, very quickly, because even the batteries are gonna go flat anytime. So just the wow. So the camera did die as soon as I tried to go underneath to show you the connections. I hope I could get some likes in. Well, this is how things are with the 4 stainless steel screw tied on it, and sort of cover. That's the cover there. So the cover is sort of the original wheel arch, part of the original wheel arch that I left in. So that would provide some splash, I hope. So that's how the progress is. It's all locked down tight, and now it's a matter of finding a way or thinking of a method how to hang all this right into the car. So well, the idea came along just when I was crawling underneath the car. This is actually part of the hanger, the original hanger from underneath the car, which supports the fuel tank originally. So I think I could modify this in a small little way, and hope that would be part of the back section hanger. Let's hope the whole process isn't too noisy that may cause any complaints from the neighbors. So it's been the whole day. Rain haven't stopped even for a second. But anyway, the work has progressed. The cables are tied, oh, sort of. That's how I'm gonna hang the conduit. So the using the just that is the bracket. That's the original bracket where I used to the fuel tank used to sit on. So it's gonna be reused. It's gonna act on sort of a cable tray for the cable tray. So this I've learned from Jerry, sort of the idea, the inspiration. So that goes all the way up, maybe follow sort of similar system on the front side. Quick look at the back. Quick look at the back. So the well, get some lights in if I could. So there you go. That's the back portion of it. And oh, lights bad. So anyway, that's how it's looking so far. I'll try to continue all the work during the Chinese New Year. Well, this is the last week before Chinese New Year, so I'd like to wish all my viewers, if any, there is Chinese viewers, go with joy. So there you go, my progress. It's still more or less not much been done other than the cablings. So the year of the rabbit will be next Thursday. I will be continuing the work for next week. That's the conduit. So I'll see you guys again next week. Okay, take care.